Students from Mount Kenya University MKU have kicked off a campaign against sexual and gender-based violence amongst students in universities and colleges. While speaking after attending a one-week SGBV workshop organized by Dr. Susan Gitau Counseling Foundation, the students noted that cases of peer-to-peer as well as lecturer-student sexual violations were very prevalent within many institutions of higher learning across the country. Among the various forms of SGBV pointed out by these students included physical abuse, verbal abuse and body shaming, improper touching and social media bullying among others. A case study by Akili Dada in the year 2020 revealed that over 40% of students in Kenya's public universities experienced some form of violence, with more than 68% of this being female.
My name is Christine Wegeni Geshera, a student at Mount Kenya University, main campus, pursuing bachelor's in counseling psychology. I think some of the forms we have within the campus, one is physical abuse, and this is whereby campus relationship they happen, and there's physical abuse within intimate relationships. The other one that we have is verbal, and this can be body shaming, especially being a lady or even a man. There's an expected way people expect you to look. I think the common one is between students and lecturers. So a lecturer can pursue you for either grades or for money, or even for you to be on a graduation list. A lecturer will tell you, you have to sleep with me to do this. Between student to student, it can be verbal. Someone can say, we don't like the way you look, why you always loud, you are loose. So you can get most of these comments within the campuses. Another one that we have is also gender. I feel in campuses we have gender abuse, especially in politics. I think even getting girls to be in powers within the campus is tricky. And you'll even hear some of the students, when you see that lady at that position, she must have slept with someone.
My name is Agengo Andrew Bodo, a clinical medicine student in my 5th year. Men are sexually harassed. In cases like maybe, let's say you've gotten into a relationship, I was just enticed with how you look and maybe how your appearance is. Then I get into the relationship and get that I'm not fit. The lady is already in bond. She's convicted by emotions. She feels that you're the one we should be with. Then you want to walk out of the relationship. Obviously, the lady will work on you. And again, also, in times we are living in, most men don't love doing good work that earn them a living. They get into relationships for money. Then when you want to get money, you do sex without your consent, you end up in a tattered life. And that's why many men are captured into the captivity of sex for money. Again, another case is when now you're networking 2 or 3 ladies. In those cases also, if a lady gets to know you're networking her with another woman, you will be a victim of SGBV. You can be caned seriously.
Some of the reasons why these students find themselves exposed to SGBV cases include peer pressure, economic hardships while in college that force them into unwanted relationships just to get through some of these challenges. There are also cases where lecturers pressured students into giving in to their sexual advances in exchange for grades and degrees.
I think the most drive agenda, or even maybe say perception, is what men are enticed by what they see, and they end up getting hooked up in unnecessary or even toxic environments. And on this case, I'd say you'll get into a relationship without even evaluating yourself, even evaluating the other partner. Then you find out that this partner is not fit for you. Then you'll end up having differences maybe. You'll also end up having mixed feelings about the partner. Then you may even, if the partner is not subjecting herself to your ideologies, you'll end up clashing. Cases of lecturers giving student grades after having sex, it's present in our universities. Mostly as our lecturers in the university setup, maybe if you need a shortcut in case you've not done a grade, the lecturer sees you're good, you're well, you look awesome, you can be worked on. Obviously, the lecturer will substitute having sex with you with giving you grades if there is no other mechanism that you can get the grades with.
I think one, well, for the socioeconomic abuse, that is, when you see the peer pressure of the Instagram, especially Instagram, you'll enter into Instagram and people are living a false life. And you as a student wanting to fit in, to be loved, you will go to the extent of doing things that are outrageous for you to fit in. That's how one social media comes to contribute to SGBV. Two, I think in relationships, I think social media also brands perfect relationships without actually them also showcasing what goes on behind the tents. You know, how do we have arguments? How do we solve our arguments? The other one is socioeconomic abuse, whereby some of the ladies may come in campus and you see all these things going on, and you can be from Ushago like me, and now when you come to Thika, you see people driving, you see the pressure of people wearing nicely, and with that you get to do things to get money. Now with the fact now of sexual orientation coming in, you may be forced to join a certain orientation due to peer pressure, or the pressure of wanting to fit or to be loved within the campus.
These students noted that most of the victims suffer too many challenges, among them depression and rejection, that lead some of them to alcohol and substance abuse, with extreme cases ending up their lives through suicide or killing their partners in cases of rejection or separation. Others find themselves recruited into unnatural sexual orientations such as same-sex relationships.
My name is Branice Keiza. I'm a fourth-year student of International Relations and Diplomacy at Mount Kenya University main campus. Speaking of the sexual orientations, first of all, when someone is traumatized or when someone faces maybe an abuse, they tend to avoid or have discrimination against, for example, that gender. For example, a lady is abused by a guy, they'll seem to be afraid of other guys, which is psychologically not good, especially in a situation whereby we interact with guys in classes, in outside, in our working regions, and most of the time you find out that from the traumas they have, from the previous abuses or violences they have gone through, they will be able to avoid them or maybe have a negative attitude towards the other gender, and this leads to the sexual orientation, me feeling like you are more safe with this gender that didn't abuse you, you're more safe with them because they can't violate you in the way this other gender thought of, and this has led to a high rise in the number of sexual orientations that are around, in that most of them don't understand what it entails and how they should go about it, so they seek refuge in the temporary things that they can find. This comes from the fear of rejection. They want to feel loved, they want to feel accommodated, they want to feel included, and most of the time students end up making wrong decisions. First of all, we don't have places or people to talk to about our problems, about our issues, so you found most of the time these people avoid their issues or avoid what they are going through and feel like they can sought refuge in the drugs, which only work for a few minutes. The high works for a few minutes, and later on, after the high is done, you still back at step one, you still have your depression, you don't have a solution for your problem, and this leads to more harm than good. This leads to depression, which might lead to also suicide.
I think sometimes you get into a relationship without knowing who your partner is, and then 3 months down the line, you come to realize my partner is an obsessive. A partner who is obsessive, I don't want to see with someone else. Even going to ask for notes is a problem. And then now you see with the obsessiveness comes with, you are my property. And now you see with that, there's also the violence of, if I see you with another person, I will come beat you up. If in any case I hear you're cheating, there's the threat of I will stab myself or I will stab yourself. I think we've also had so many cases within campuses of where a man will kill a lady because of maybe allegedly cheating, you see, or someone jumping out of a building, why my girlfriend cheated on me. But in real sense, there's so many good people out here, so being in a relation within campus, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think it's also teaching or psychoeducating on having healthy relationships. And and how do you solve conflict within a relationship.
The students are now calling on the management of learning institutions to develop structured programs to litigate this vice, as well as creating safe spaces for SGBV victims to seek help. The victims have also been encouraged to speak up and seek help from the various organizations that fight this vice. They have also been sensitized to learn to set boundaries in relationships and stand firm whenever they were faced with any form of sexual violation.
We should check our boundaries, the way we communicate, the way we articulate our emotions, our maybe our visions and our understanding of things. For example, I might give someone a green flag that I like you or I want you, but it's not that way. It's just because of how I am speaking or how I'm articulating myself to you, or how I allow you to greet me. Like for example, in campus, the common way to greet someone is through a hug. So someone might feel like they are open to touching you in every other way, and that's not true. So first of all, I'd speak of the physical interactions. Have boundaries with your physical interactions. If it's saying hi, there are very many ways of saying hi, not only with the hugs, not only with the touching. You can handshake, you can wave, you can just raise your brow, and it will mean that you are saying hi or greeting. Another one is from the verbal, or maybe from the communication on your phones, which is, for example, these days we have WhatsApp, we have Instagram. Someone might think that the chats that go on your phone signify that you have something and you really don't have something with them. So from also the communications, learn to articulate yourself in a manner that they know you have boundaries, you are friends and not something more than friends, you are classmates, you have a professional outlook of how you carry yourself, and that will make them also respect you and carry you in the way that you also show yourself to them. This will make you have this respect that they can't pass past this border that you have, and this will also make you prevent them from violating you, in that they won't have the space around you, or maybe the excuse that we hugged, we touched, we said this on the phone, and that gives them maybe a consent of what they want or whatever they are having in mind about you. There are ways to solve these problems. There are better ways to solve them and permanently solve them, and not temporarily. And this is by speaking out, this is by getting counseling, this is by interacting with others, knowing what ways or what solutions they have created and what things they do to maybe avoid these things, and maybe use their energy or their time to forget about their traumas and move on with their life. That's why we are having this program, to sensitize the students on how they can handle their traumas, how they can handle these issues they are facing in the sexual gender-based violence area, and also how they can come up with ideas or maybe actions to sensitize and create awareness to others, not only the students, but also other youths in Kenya who are facing the same things. We learned about the various ways to intervene in a sexual gender-based violence case. Number one, you can intervene directly. Maybe consult the person, know what the problem is, understand what the problem is, and if you get to the problem, you should seek out to the various institutions that we have, that is the police, medical checkups on if something has already happened, that is, so that you can prevent something harmful to happen later, which is maybe diseases or harms or physical harms and all that. Another thing, you can intervene indirectly, in that you can call out someone to help you. For example, in a situation whereby you feel less powerful, or maybe you don't have the voice to come and consult this person, you can call out someone that you feel will be strong enough to maybe question the person that is violating the other one. Another one, you can also carry out sensitization among the students, create awareness on SGBV, the various forms of SGBV, because most of them don't understand. Maybe you're verbally violated and you don't know that you're verbally violated. So with creating awareness, it will make them understand that anytime someone violates you, you have the right to stand up and speak up about it, seek help, seek counseling. And this one will make it very much easier for you to live with it, and also forget about it and move on. You are allowed to say no, and you should stand with your no, and you should be strong with your no, because not to say yes, because I said yes yesterday, it's not that it's a crime, it's not wrong. it's okay. You shouldn't feel like you're obliged to say yes because you said yes yesterday. You're okay to say no. Also, that in that feelings come in these situations. You might have felt the same way the other day, and you maybe changed your mind overnight. So I think we should always stand with our feelings and our senses, in that if you feel it's not right, you have the right to say no and stand with your no, and don't be shaken, don't be moved. You are okay, you are fine, and no one is obliged to maybe point fingers at you because you said no. No one is supposed to abuse you or maybe call out names on you, or don't be afraid that the relationship will end or maybe the friendship will end. That's not the end of life.
I think with this program, we are able to talk and create safe spaces for these people to share what is going on behind the curtains. I think the only way I can say on how we can extract or even do this is psychoeducating people on the importance of building yourself. The importance of first having your own before living with someone else. Do you know yourself? Are you self-aware of even the person you're having with? As a university, create structures and psychoeducate people on structures. One, as a university, do you have a hotline for people to come and share their SGBV cases? Two, do you create spaces for people to actually come and share those things? So one is creating structures and psychoeducating students about these structures. Because you can have structures at university, but if you don't psychoeducate people, no one will come to report. So that is one. Two is doing a lot of sensitization and psychoeducation. Psychoeducate people on what is SGBV. What are some of the forms of SGBV? What can you do to get out of these situations? Another thing I think is partnership with other people who are also engaged in SGBV, because I think when our community comes together, then we are able to also encourage others to come in and share their stories. So with that, you also, through this sharing of stories, a lot of people are also engaged to join in and support. I love what we are doing, and that is psychoeducating and sensitizing people on the different forms and how do we get out of it. One, love yourself. Love yourself to know you don't have to stay in an abusive relationship, and love yourself enough to know you can walk away. You can pick your pieces and walk away and create a much better life than the one you imagined to be. There's so many people in the world for you to just be with an abusive partner. So love yourself and take your dignity back, and walk away and come for help, ask for help. Don't be afraid to speak up your mind. We are creating, us as MKU, we are creating a safe space for you to share your stories. And I think one of the things I say today is I want to create safe spaces for people to actually share their stories. So no, you can walk away and you are free, and you will create spaces for you to share your stories.
There are policies and also rules and also regulations set up by institutions, and also universal rules. I think we should just adhere ourselves to what the rules stipulates. If a case like that is done, justice is the way to follow. Then to our, this is a two-thing engagement: the victim and the victimizer. The victim also should know what position he or she is taking when in a situation. Why should I allow myself to be in a situation of SGBV? I should be aware of what I'm doing and what my surrounding entails. That is how we'll be able to capture this SGBV theme. Mostly, also the institution must be coming out clearly. On most occasions, you find these scenes of SGBV are not being highlighted because institutions are covering up so that their name may not be tarnished. Also, institutions should come out and root out victimizers of SGBV.
Dr. Susan challenged police stations located near learning institutions to set up gender desks so as to help fight this vice. She hailed MKU for the step they were taking to protect their students from any form of sexual abuse and violation.
My name is Dr. Susan Gitau. I'm a counseling psychologist and a lecturer at African Nazarene University and the founding trustee of Susan Gitau Counseling Foundation. I am looking at this university here, Mount Kenya University. You have a very good police outstation here. Can there be a gender desk there? And because the students have said, not just us. We live with other students from Thika Technical, other students from Greater University, other students from TIBS and NIBS, many colleges, especially here in Thika. Mount Kenya University has taken the lead in many ways, and that is why I had the confidence to come and also camp here and be with these students for very many workshops. They were also hosted by African Nazarene University on a grants webinar where we discussed the basics of SGBV. We looked at the effects of SGBV and we realized it is very costly. The university may lose a student through suicide, through femicide, and sometimes they take their own lives at home. The university may lose a very prospective potential graduate that can help the economy of this country. So you will have lost in the inputs of these students who came from first year all the way to the final year. We have lost in one of the most maybe powerful human resources. But what are we saying? There is hope. And there is hope if you and I, as I look at you, university lecturer, dean of students, vice chancellor, all the other academic leaders in a university. I'm looking at you, college principal. I'm looking at you, the dean of students in that college. I'm looking at you, the university student, the college student, saying today, no silence to any form of sexual and gender-based violence. You will not be a perpetrator. So no SGBV from you to you. And you're going to say, I have to live the life that I was meant to live. And very many students are struggling. So you're going to say no to silence. So if it has happened to you, don't keep quiet. If the university does not protect you, if the college does not protect you, I would like you to know in this nation, in this country, you are protected by law.
And which institution is this?
Mount Kenya University main campus.
And who are you?
Champions against sexual and gender-based violence.
And your motto is?
Zero silence, zero violence, zero SGBV.